At Lifehack Coaching, we help women over 35 to balance hormones naturally, boost metabolism, and lose weight sustainably. Hey everyone, today I'm chatting with Karin, Managing Director at Revl, who is also mom of 3, ex-ski instructor and BodyPump coach who leads from the front. She's smart, strong, and straight up, someone who doesn't just talk about showing up, but actually does it. From graduating from law school with distinction, I didn't know that about you, to running a gym and raising family, Karin brings real life experience to the table. So today we're talking about what takes to keep moving when life is full and how to lead without burning out and why stream training is so important and it matters, especially for women that are busy juggling kids, careers, and hormones. Hi.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yes. Well, welcome and thank you so much for agreeing being here with me today.
Great. It's awesome to be here.
All right. So you've been in the fitness industry a quite long time. How long has it been?
Look, I started in the early 2000s, so that's more than 25 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. So when you started, you didn't have any kids, right?
No kids. So I basically came into the industry from graduating from law school and started working in a high-rise building. And on my way there, I had to commute. We were living in Sydney at the time, and I had to commute to get there. And on the trains, I was just plowing through fitness magazines. And eventually I thought something has just got to change. I just wasn't loving what I'm doing. So I quit my job and started selling gym memberships. And that's how I got into it.
So you've got law degree, and then did you actually end up working as a lawyer?
Yes. Yeah. I worked as a lawyer for a few years. And then during that time is that I essentially for the first time in my life started to pile on the weight. Growing up, it was all about sports. You know, we do cross-country skiing on our way to school or a little snow scooter, and I played lots of sport. And then when I started working and trying to climb that career ladder, I just got overweight. I became unhealthy and unfit, something that I had never felt before. So me and my husband, we decided to just join a gym. None of us had ever been in a gym before. And essentially this passion was born. And then when I decided after plowing through all those fitness magazines day in and day out that actually I think I should just jump into this because it seems to light my fire, that's essentially how I got into it.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like you were a lawyer and then you picked to be fitness instructor, right? Like such a big change. And I was doing accounts before going into becoming fitness instructor as well. So it's like going from desk jobs to being so like straight, no right or left, no creativity jobs really, into free flow jobs where you have to be creative every single day. You have to be a little bit of, entertainer and a coach and a support, a little bit of like, I don't know, a psychologist at times, right? Or counselor.
Yeah, I guess it's still for me, it was aligned about wanting to help people and wanting to be in a preventative space of helping people. I mean, before law school, I tossed up whether to become, study medicine, and I sort of dipped in that for a little term before I swapped over to law. So I think this thing of wanting to help people have always been something I've been passionate about.
Yeah. Is that something that you wanted to do when you were like 16, 15? When you go through that age in your teens where you start thinking on what I actually want to do when I grow up?
Yeah, look, I wanted to be a ski champion, a downhill skier. That was kind of my dream. But as always, you sort of go, okay, I was also quite academic. I should probably go down that route. It kind of makes sense. So, yeah.
And here we are. That's cool. That's awesome. So how would you say your approach to training changed over this time? Because, it's been 20 something years. So you've had kids, you're getting older. How... Well, okay, you're only 20.
Again.
Did it change? Did you change how you train and how you approach exercise?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like I was saying before, when I had come out of law school and I started to, gain weight and become unhealthy, and we took that step to join a gym, it was about me. I mean, my husband was lifting weights and eating tuna, and I was certainly on that treadmill for hours. I was running marathon. I was setting myself targets of what I wanted to do. So it was about me. Over time, I've swapped all of those ego lifts for longevity lifts. So now I train to stay in the game as opposed to win one. And I think for me now, it's all about energy and not aesthetics. I want to be strong enough to lead the team, coach a class, show up for my members, and infuse all that positive energy on my husband and my kids. And I want to do that before 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
So the big shift for me is the training isn't about me. It's about becoming somebody that my team, my kids, the members in my classes can count on.
So you said you used to run a lot. Do you still run? Or do you focus just on lifting? Like, what do you do for your training?
I guess for me, it's about finding something that you love. Like once you find something that you love, you never think about working out, and it becomes part of who you are and it becomes part of your journey. So I don't chase perfection at all. It's about consistency for me. So training isn't about necessarily what I do, but more about training for the life I want to live, not the body I think I should have. So if I want to live and love and last, being strong for me starts from the inside. So if I can find that stuff that I love, then I'll stick with it.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
That's kind of my main philosophy when it comes to training.
Yeah, that's awesome. I work with a lot of women over 35, over 40, and a lot of them never have done any exercises in the past. And we talk about the importance of exercise as you get older for the bone density, for mental health, all that stuff. So what would you say to someone who is very intimidated? Because this is the most common thing when I work with women. They're like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to go into the gym because I feel so uncomfortable. Everyone is looking at me. They just feel super intimidated going into the gym. So what would you say to someone like that?
Look, walking into the gym for the first time, that's the hardest rep anyone is ever going to do. Once you're inside, you are already lifting. And I think nobody is watching you as much as you think. Most people are way too busy worrying about their own form, their own fears, and their own journey. So go in there and take up space. You've earned that right to be strong at any age and at any stage. And strong for me isn't a size, it's a mindset, and it is yours for the taking. So just go in there and make it happen. And it's never too late. You're never too old. You are never too unfit, and it's never too late. It is always just about getting started.
Yeah. So would you recommend for them to go and, like, if they sign up for the gym membership, to take up on, some gyms, I don't know, does your gym have any offers, like, to show how to use equipment when they first join, or like, do they need to get PT? What would you recommend when they first join the gym?
Well, for us, it was about, when we started Revl, it was about making sure that you would never show up not knowing what to do. So quite often people walk into a gym with two questions because they don't know what else to ask. They ask, how much does it cost and do I get a program? And so put your price online so that you can help people answer that question really easily. And the second one is, do you get a program? For us, it became, yes, that should always be available to you. So what we offer most people and what we recommend for most people to do is just to get into a class, because those classes are structured with a training effect in mind, and it will help with your motivation. It helps to get started. So essentially all you're doing is showing up, and everything else is taken care of. If you want to work out on your own, then yes, we do loads of free programs, and we put them on the walls in little brochure holders, and they are available from getting started on the very easy pin-loaded machines to working your way up to free weights, as well as maybe working on cardio equipment and doing programs on there. So it was a big belief of ours that that should never be an excuse that you don't know what to do. It's our job to show you and take care of you in that journey.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So would you say you've got more men or women at the gym?
Hey, it's interesting. Different age categories show up a little bit differently there. Overall, yes, it's more female. It's not quite 70-30, but almost sort of mid 65 to 35. In the younger categories, so say sort of 18 to 22, it's more men. And same with over 55, it's more men than women.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I wonder why. Because when I used to own the gym, it was 70-30, 70% women and 30% men. And we even laughed saying that maybe we should just rebrand and be a female-only gym because we're just getting females. And it's amazing because females are the one who are very intimidated to go to the gym, right? But then if you look in the actual gym environment with classes, specifically if there are classes, right? It's mainly women that attend, and then men who are married to those women.
Yeah.
They come as a package.
Yeah,
that's what we've noticed.
Yeah. I'm sure that was our philosophy. Get the girls and the boys will come.
It's exactly how I used to say. And even when we used to run ads or any social media, it was all addressed at women. And even some of our guys at the gym, like, why are you not putting anything about the guys? I'm like, because if we get girls, guys will follow.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, like life is busy and you're busy and you work, you've got kids and the family and leadership and the business. We all go through the stages where we don't feel motivated or don't feel like you want to work out or do anything. So what do you do then? Like, how do you keep yourself on track and motivated? And
I think I touched on it a little briefly before, that I don't chase the perfect workout, but I change consistency in the middle of all the chaotic life that we have. So some days it's a 45-minute class, other days it's 4 rounds and multiple school dropouts and school runs, and everything counts. So it kind of training for me, it's that anchor as opposed to that extra. And so when everything is moving around me, it holds me steady. So I plan my week like a business meeting, and training gets that time slot and it doesn't get bumped. So I think for that motivation, for me, it comes and goes, right? Like you said, for everybody, but discipline is what keeps showing up.
Yeah.
So I chase rhythm more than I think about balance. And that accumulation of effort rather than that illusion of perfection is what builds that real strength over time. So if I can, when life gets busy and it's full on movement, is the thing for me that helps quiet the noise. Even 10 minutes is something that can help change that channel in my head. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. I see a lot on like mums groups or women's groups on Facebook. You want women talk about, well, how do I get started? I don't feel motivated. I don't want to do anything. And that's the same thing. I try to kind of comment here and there explaining that motivation will get you started, but discipline is what's going to get you to get where you want to be. So how would you get someone, like, how do you motivate them? Like to take the first step?
Yeah, I think you can't wait for the mood. That is not the best way to get started. You've got to act your way into momentum for anything in life. So we've seen it with our own kids when they were young, when they were teenagers, and sort of now young adults. That motivation doesn't start in your head. It starts in your feet, and it starts in your hands, and it starts in your heart. So if you can just get to that point, you're winning. But if you're sitting around waiting for motivation to hit, it's not going to come searching for you. You've got to go and find that momentum, and that starts in your hands and your feet and your heart.
Yeah. No, that's really awesome. Very awesome. So I saw somewhere on your website, you said that you're inspired by people who feel the fear and do it anyway. When is the last time you had to do that?
That was a saying that my dad, sort of very early on, my dad said to me, look, if I can teach you one thing in life, try and do what you would do if you were not afraid. And I mean, this is kind of like, you got this big, bold life, so you should try and live it in that way, right? And I think one of the scariest things I've ever done is starting Revl. And every big decision since then has certainly had fear in the passenger seat. And it's about, how do I not let it drive? So I've learned over the years that fear means that I care really deeply about something. So it isn't a stop sign. It's simply a green light with some butterflies in my stomach. And a couple of years ago, or a little bit more than a year ago now, we had to hit a roadblock in our business. And that's probably the time that comes to mind foremost right now. It ended in me buying out my business partner. However, at that particular time, I used a business coach who introduced me to the concept of the 4 C's. And that became huge in the way that, I guess, overcome the fear at that time. There are not many female-led businesses of scale with big ambitions to grow in New Zealand. So I knew that I had to overcome that to buy out my business partner and do this alone. And those 4 C's was, when you start something, you just need a goal. So you could call that commitment. And then actually the only other thing you need is courage. So that was C number 2. So confidence and capability is something that you build over time, and you actually don't need it when you get started. And for some reason, that was sort of this weight off my shoulder that I went, all right, I've got some courage and I've got a commitment, I've got a goal. And that was my starting block. So life is never a light switch. You turn it on and everything works perfectly. It's this dance, right? And you just got to go. So every time I step up in front of people or do something like that, I just remind myself that fear that I'm feeling means that I care. And if I feel excited at the same time as I feel a little bit scared, I'm probably on the right track. And then every time I do something afraid, it becomes this evidence that I can. right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Wow, I love that. That's pretty cool. I always say to my kids that excitement and nervousness, exactly same feeling. So if you feel you're nervous, you're probably very excited. Just tell yourself you're excited and you're actually going to be excited about it. And my 10-year-old, I can't remember what we're talking about. Somebody asked her if she was nervous, and she just said that to them, that nervousness is excitement, exactly same feeling, and I'm excited. I was like, yes, we're winning here. They're learning.
And sometimes that nervousness is excitement without breathing, right? So if you
Yeah.
can bring your breathing down, you can bring those nerves down with that, and then allow yourself to just be excited.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. So for women in Porirua, if for listeners who's in Porirua in Wellington, where can they find you?
So we are down by the waterfront on Paramoana Street, down by the beautiful new Kaitahi building and the Porirua Harbour.
And how easy it is to join your gym?
As easy as it should be. You just jump online and pick your membership, or even easier, just come in and give it a go. There is absolutely nothing that's holding you back. We do free trials. We do 7 days for $20, and all of our memberships can be bought without any commitment. You just buy it. It's a 7-day notice period. So it's kind of like this prolonged trial, right? You can just jump in, give it a go, and anytime it doesn't suit you, you stop, because I believe that's the flexibility that people today deserve to have in the gym industry, and it should be available to you to try and give it a go.
Yeah. So if somebody not sure, they can just come in, have a chat, then pick what will be suitable for them. If they want to do classes or if they want to do a normal gym, they can just come and have a chat first.
Yep, they can come and have a chat first, or browse our website and then pick up one of those risk-free trials. Once you have that and you download our app, your access card, it sits on the app. It's all remotely and digitally loaded on your app, so you can open the doors in unstaffed hours and come in and have a good time.
Awesome. And you guys you do quite a bit for community, like you donate your memberships to schools and different fundraising events and stuff like that, so people can pick up membership at quite a good rate as well and support good cause, right? So that's pretty cool. Like, I think for businesses that do that, people should support, because it's what goes around comes around, and it's kind of stays within the community and within, our little or not so little town. Anyway, well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your words of wisdom and your experience, and I hope this is going to be very empowering and motivating for some women, especially for those who feel very intimidating about joining the gym, because no one is watching you. Everyone in the exactly same place worry about, do I look weird, am I moving correctly, or I don't know what I'm doing. So you just need to get in there, get started, and you're only going to get better every single day.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
If you have any questions about this podcast or about hormones, weight loss, or just healthier lifestyle, please go to our website at lifehackcoaching.co.nz, or feel free to email me directly, Anastasia@lifehackcoaching.co.nz.